Welcome to Module 1, Goal Setting. Welcome to class. This class, I have to say, is probably one of the most important life skills anyone can teach you and you can learn anywhere. And I'm very grateful to be able to be presenting this to you. So let's get into it. This is goal setting, and I'm going to teach you how to set goals maybe a little bit differently than what you're used to. Most people who set goals is just, set a goal. And I'll give it to you in the way, the skills that you're gonna learn now, by the way, are also gonna be directly applicable to how you set goals with your clients, okay? So most people who set goals, and I've already drawn it up, but they set goals in frame of what they wanna have in life. So let's say your client, right? They set the goal that they wanna lose 10 kilos, or they wanna be 10 kilos lighter. You might set a goal that you want to earn $100,000 or you want to earn $1 million, right? And that kind of piece is really all you focus on. Some people go one level above. They think about what actions they must do. So they think about, all right, well, if I want to lose 10 kilos, I need to eat healthy and exercise. And they get there, and the problem with that is that they don't have the mindset ability. They don't have the meta program to keep them there. And same thing with business. Some people earn a whole bunch of money, but then spend a whole bunch of money or lose a whole bunch of money because the same thing, they don't have the mindset and the meta program that sees themselves as being successful and sees themselves as one with their goal. And that's very important. So this is why I use this formula. So there's two formulas kind of overlapped and interwoven here. The first is the be plus do equals have formula, and the other one on this side is the pyramid of change, which I learned from a dear friend of mine, Dwayne Alley. So I'm going to lay out the pyramid of change and then give you the be, do, have formula over the top. So the pyramid of change, at the bottom of the base of the pyramid is our environment. You want to think about this as the result, it's the have. Okay, so again, if someone says they want to lose 10 kilos, it's I just want to lose 10 kilos. They don't really care if they get there with a chicken and soup diet, calorie counting, all by doing it the proper way, right? Above that is your behaviors. And you want to think about behaviors as your actions that you take to get that goal. Again, for people who want to lose weight, behaviors can vary quite greatly. Above that is what's going to influence our behaviors. And this isn't often talked about, but it's our skills and skill sets, because this is what influences our behaviors. And I'll give you an example. If you don't know how to cook, then you're probably not going to make really tasty meals out of healthy food, which then might lead you to buying unhealthy food because it tastes better. But if we then teach you the skills of how to cook, then you go, well, I know actually how to cook my vegetables and chicken and proteins and all this. So then it becomes much more enticing for you to take the actions of eating healthy food. Just like in business, if you don't have the skills, if you're not taught how to sell, then you shy away from selling, right? And that's what we're going to do in this course, is we're going to teach you these skills so you can improve the behaviors that you're already making and get maximal return on investment from those, which is ultimately going to give you a change in the result and the have. Now, for you to keep doing these skills, the level above that is your identity, or it's your beliefs and values, and the level above that is your identity. And these two components make the be aspect. So the way you want to set goals is in the reverse order. Most people focus on the have and the do. You want to focus on the be. Now, the way to think about this is, who do you need to be to lose that 10 kilos? Or who do you need to be to earn $100,000 this year? Or who do you need to be to earn $1 million? Because they're different people at every single level where you're trying to set a goal. That's a different identity and different mindset, meta program that you have to come at it with. And the be aspect is what enables you to do these things automatically and not rely on motivation to see you through. So for example, if you have a client and they fundamentally want to lose 10 kilos, well, let's make their goal more than just losing 10 kilos. Let's make their goal automated. And the way that would look is that who they need to become is a healthy person who eats healthy foods that builds and nourishes their body. They need to become someone who falls in love with the process, someone who enjoys the challenge of physical exercise, that makes time for physical exercise daily, that looks at food as a fuel source to better their performance. If they can become that person, then what actions does that person do? Well, they look for healthy food, they eat organic food, they make time to eat the right food, they minimize alcohol, a whole list of, and from doing those things, from being this person, from doing those actions, they get the result of not just losing 10 kilos, but keeping those 10 kilos off. Now, the same thing is true for you in business. If you want to be the person who earns $100,000, $500,000 this year, who do you need to be? Now, you might need to be, well, if it's for the $100,000, you need to be someone who takes their career seriously, who wakes up in the morning and has a clear schedule and prioritizes tasks, someone who is a leader for their clients, someone who is dedicated to constant and never-ending improvement, someone who's dedicated to honing their craft of training nutrition, who actively looks at training seminars as a way to improve them. From doing those things, what does that person do? That person studies. That person gets back to emails within 24 hours. That person gets back to clients as soon as possible. That client has this person has a schedule in which they are rigorous about and is very careful with how they spend their time. And as a result, then they have the capacity and the ability to earn $100,000. Likewise, if your goal is to earn $1 million, it's going to need to change again. You're going to need to be a leader of a team. You're not going to do it by yourself. You're going to entrust people with different tasks. You're going to become a master delegator. And then what are you going to do? You're going to follow up. You're going to encourage people. You're going to train them. So the way you spend your time in accordance to getting that result is going to change. But this here, it all works as one. So you're not just going to focus on the result of just trying to get that. You need to focus on who is the person that you need to be to get that result, what actions are you going to do, and ultimately what's the result. So hope that all makes sense. What I want you to do right now is once this video finishes, I want you to write down clearly, I want you to write down clearly on a piece of paper in your journal, in your diary, I want you to write down clearly what are your goals. If this was the most valuable program that you have ever purchased, what needs to happen as a result of you watching these videos? Earn $100,000, $200,000, whatever it is, I want you to write that down. Be fully booked, it doesn't matter. Write that down, what your goal is, what you want to have. Then the next question is, who do you need to be? Who do you need to show up as? Who do you need to be to achieve that goal? That's the second question. Who do you need to be to achieve that goal that you wrote down? And then finally, the third question is, what actions does that person take? Then that gives you a structure, that gives you a flavor of the things that you need to take. And then we can look at the pyramid and look at the gaps in the skills and skill sets, or potentially some of the monkey chatter and the beliefs and values that isn't serving you right now, that you need to change and replace with things that are more empowering. They're going to help you get there. First step, write down your goal. Second step, who do you need to be? Third step, what actions are you going to do? I'll see you in the next class.